When comparing fractions, the fractions are not going to be the same or equal to each other if the number on top, the numerator, are the same between two fractions, or even if the denominator, the bottom number, are the same between the two fractions. Just because they might be the same number does not mean that the entire fraction is equal to each other. For instance, if you have an entire object, this is its whole thing. Anything can be split, but this is the original. So if we're going to take it and split it right down the middle, it is made up of two halves, one half and one half, but being put together makes the whole. So another way to separate this original piece would be to separate it in fourths. As you see with these blocks, the block that is marked the fourth of it is an equal split 4 ways. Just like if you were giving 4 people pizzas of pizza. If you have one pizza whole, you would cut it equally, and each one would have its own fourth, but it's only a part of the whole. So if you're saying that 1/2 is the same as 1/4 just because it has the same on the top, it's just saying that this little guy is one part of this big whole. So 1/2 is not the same as 1/4. And it doesn't have, even though it has the same numerator, it's just one part is what it is saying. In another way, you can look at it on a number line. Here's a traditional number line with numbers 1 through 4. And we know that the numbers get bigger as we go along, from left to right, just like reading. Well, what if we say that this whole is equal to 4s? So this first number would be 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4, because each number is of the whole, which is 4. So if the problem, the two fractions that are being compared is 1/4 and 2/4, then 1 single fourth is going to be far less than 2/4, because on a number line we know that it goes from least to greatest. And this top number is just a part of this whole. Each one of these is a part of the whole, which is 4. So 1/4 and 2/4 are completely separate and cannot be the exact same just because they have the same denominator or bottom number. That is simply just the whole. And each whole is different. So this whole, this is one whole shape. It has 2 parts to it, but it could also be divided in other ways. So this, you would say, is a half of this, correct? It is just one single half. So if you take a half, it is 1/2. Well, this may be a fourth of another shape. But is it 1/4 of this shape? No. So 1/4 and 1/2 of completely different shapes can be not equal to each other just because you would think that it's a part of a whole, but it's not a part of the same whole. So you have to look at what it is that is the original measure. So for the other fractions, 1/4 and 2/4 would not be the same because 1/4 is just a different part of that whole, but they are not the same because they have the same whole, but not necessarily the same part.